Oh, ladies and gentlemen, it is finally here, the January 2022 Q&A, and I know what everybody's been thinking this entire time while they've been wondering where it's at.
Well, we're waiting.
The wait is no more. It's finally here. Hey, what is going on, everybody? How are you all doing today? I hope you all are having a wonderful and fantastic day today, and if not, hopefully you all will have a better tomorrow. As always, the Q&A just seems to come out late. You know, I hadn't been feeling too great, and I know that all of you know about my 2-week hiatus that I had not too long ago because I wasn't feeling good. Still wasn't feeling the greatest, but I was still trying to work and do the best I could. But hey, you know what? Better late than never, as I always say. And I'm going to be getting back on a more daily upload schedule routine. So look forward to that. I'm going to have like videos going up tomorrow. So there will be a lot to go over. But yeah, so expect that for sure. The next Q&A I'm going to try to get out by about midway through the month, maybe a little after the midway point of this month, so I can give everybody enough time to, send me questions. So be sure to send your questions down below in the comments section. I will be sure to get to them. If there are any that I have forgotten, please let me know. I will be sure to get to them. I'll get them in the next Q&A for certain. So if there are any I forgot, please let me know, and I'll be sure to get them in the next one. But anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead. Let's get started with this Q&A, starting with the YouTube questions. First question is by Duke Nuka-Cola. Ask, hi Draco, great Q&A and great taste as always. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks for answering my question and also for the Ruby recast. Hey, no problem. Anytime. I always appreciate everyone's questions, so, always be sure to answer them. Do you have an idea of a quirk? How would it work, and what would its advantages and inconvenience be? So I've always had, like, an idea to where it'd be like, the Scarlet King flare is what I would call it. I know it's got a big name to it. Because, like, fire has always been my favorite element. If you know me, you know I love fire. So I would have it to where it could be used as projectiles or be close range. Like, like my fist could turn to fire and then hit with it. So, like, how it would work if it was like being shot at somebody, it would hit them for explosive damage, but then also the damage that they took, they would also be drained of energy or power. So that would actually weaken them. It would kind of be like a way to actually kind of hit them hard in that sense. And then, if I'm actually physically hitting them with the flames would then absorb their energy, kind of like, helping bring more life to a fire, So, like, the fire would then get stronger and just drain from their energy and then amplify my own. Now, the weaknesses obviously would be water. Couldn't use this in water or anything to that effect. So, that would be something. But yeah, that's what I would say the inconveniences would be. Who are your best boys in Pokemon? Now, this is an interesting question. I gotta say, one of them definitely being Lieutenant Surge. He's known as the Lightning American. And the thing is, I found him more interesting in the games and manga, especially the manga. He was a Team Rocket member, for those who don't know. And he used Voltorb and Electrode as explosives. And he had Magneton use Sonic Boom Shockwaves. The guy was a mad lad. Like, Lieutenant Surge is crazy. Also, Pyramid King Brandon, I always liked him. He's a cool archaeologist. He had the Reggies. He beat Ash's ass twice. One of them, of course, Ash was possessed, but still, he beat him. He still beat him. I mean, it is crazy. And he was a challenge to the Battle Frontier. Game Freak, bring back the Battle Frontier. God knows that's never going to happen. But anyways, Steven Stone is another favorite of mine. I'm not as big of a fan of him in the games, more so as I am the anime and the manga. Like, the anime and the manga, he has more character, in my opinion. But, like, I really liked his design, like the redesign they gave him. He also has that special event Beldum that you got from like Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, that time frame where they were giving that out. That was really cool. So he has a shiny Metagross. And in a filler episode, he had an Aggron and a Aron, for those who don't know. It's actually really cool. Another favorite of mine is Volkner. Volkner was really cool as a gym leader. Like, I liked his kind of little story arc. It's like a really small story arc, of course, in the games. But he had basically lost his inspiration to battle. And because he was just tired of weak trainers, and then he was like, you know what, I'm just going to go challenge the Elite Four, because apparently he was good enough that he could have been an Elite Four member. And, of course, you battle him and you beat him, but, like, you light that fire back in him. I mean, he was a cool gym leader. I actually like Volkner a lot. Gladion, everybody's favorite edgelord. At least he's mine. I love Gladian's character in Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. I know people give like flack to those games, but I actually loved those games. Gladian being an edgelord was awesome. I loved it. Kind of reminded me of myself growing up because I was an edgelord and still even to this very day can be edgy. The big one, I'm not going to spoil a lot, but Volo in Pokemon Legends Arceus, I liked his character a lot. And boy, Volo was something else. I mean, he's Cynthia's ancestor besides Kagita. I like Volo. He's quirky personality. I just liked him. He was cool. Paul is my favorite rival of all time. I know people will be like, well, what about Gary? Gary wasn't bad. But Paul is my favorite, rival. If they had him in the games, it would have been awesome. I understand how Paul looks at things because I'm more of like that guy that looks from a competitive lens than anything else when it comes to like what Pokemon to use and everything. So I understand Paul. I liked Paul. I thought he was great. His arc with Ash and Chimchar, like, great character. I really like Paul. Still to this very day. Now, this is a toss-up. There's two that are like my favorite characters. Brock being the absolute Giga Chad that he is. I mean, who doesn't want to be like Brock and want that harem, man? You know what you're doing, Brock. Like, seriously, this guy, he also goes after every woman. He gets turned down sometimes, but you know what? He keeps going at it. I got to give him credit. Props to Brock. And then James. James, honestly, is a character that I think could be a really good trainer if he was actually outside of Team Rocket. Also, James had one of the funniest lines in all of Pokemon. I'm sure everybody's aware of Base James.
Let's blow those whining women back to the Dark Ages right where they belong!
Yeah, okay.
I can't believe 4Kids actually had a line like that. That's absolutely hilarious. Oh, it's one of the funniest lines of Pokemon ever, besides one that Cynthia had in Gen 5 anime. It's great. And a really spicy one. Which waifus would you want to make love with?
Oh my, how lewd.
Ooh, now that's a good one. Oh, man. Which waifus would I want to, like, make love with? Ooh, well, there's plenty. Well, let's go down the list. First off, definitely got to go with the beautiful Erza Scarlet. I mean, seriously, this woman is absolutely to die for, in my opinion. Like I said, she's my favorite character in all of Fairy Tail, so got to go Erza there. Lucina from Fire Emblem, because everybody knows that out of any Fire Emblem game, she is a waifu for life. She is the #1 in Fire Emblem. Of course, though, one that always holds a special place in my heart would be Lindis, because, well, that was the first Fire Emblem waifu I ever had, so there's that. And then, the sexy, the beautiful, tomboy Mordred. God, I love Mordred to death. She is the best Fate girl, and I will tell you right now, you want to talk about the naughtiest things possible, oh man, the situation would get beyond lewd. Oh man, Mordred drives me crazy. Obviously Mithra, she's got it all going on.
You were staring. Huh? Pervert.
Oh, I love this beautiful Aegis. You want to talk about something that really pulls at my heartstrings? Go Tsundere or Yandere, and you got me hooked. Mithra, absolutely fantastic. Love the character. And then Cynthia, because everybody knows I have a very unhealthy love for this character. Like, Cynthia's my favorite character in all of Pokemon, period. Like, Game Freak, just make her the mascot. Just make her the human mascot. I mean, you gave her 2 ancestors in Arceus. You might as well say it. Because, Jesus Christ, she drives me fucking crazy in a good way. And then, speaking of crazy, Lucamine, yeah, I'd go after Mama Lucamine. She could be my mama any day, if you know what I mean. I would, yes, I would let that woman do any terrible, naughty things to me imaginable. It'd be naughty. Mount Lady would be another one. But hey, you know what? Let's give a shout out to the tall women out there because, they could be very sexy themselves. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, I'd be all for it. I don't mind a woman that's taller than me. I'd be all for it. And then, of course, Brandish. I mean, let me be real with you. Brandish, that would be wild. I'm just going to say right now, the things Brandish could do to you, that bedroom time is going to be probably the most interesting you're ever going to have. I'm just saying. Karisu's another one. Like, you want to talk about probably like your wife material besides like Cynthia. Yes, Karisu will be that. She will be everything you would ever want. Also, all the tsundere, all the love. Tifa as well. Like Tifa's. This is basically a woman you'd look at and you'd be like, let me make love with you, and then let's get it so bad that we're just gonna run away and get married right now, because I love you that much that I would go that far. That's what I'd say. Ellie as well, just the adorable personality of Ellie from Rave. Like, oh god, like Ellie has been like a strong waifu ever since like the early 2000s for me. Hiro Mashima, he knows how to make waifus. Erza, Ellie, and there's tons of others I can name off. Brandish, I mean, he knows what he's doing. He's got it going on with that. He knows what he's doing. Mai Kawakami's another one from Musaiga no Phantom World. Yes. Definite yes. Another one being Esdeath. Look, that woman needs love. I'd give her all the love. You want to talk about the naughtiest time in the room? She can dominate me any day of the week if she needs to get all that love out of her. Go ahead, do it. I'm all for it. I don't care, Esdeath. Do what you need to. And I'll do things to you too. It'll go both ways. And man, you know, CC or C2, however you want to say her name, she deserves love too. Speaking of Esdeath, you know, like I would make sure this woman gets every ounce of love that she could ever possibly need. She'd get the best time of her life. Palutena as well, like this goddess here, like talk about worshiping a goddess. Palutena's the one. She's going to tease you, though, because that's her trait. She loves teasing. And most definitely in more ways than one, if you know what I mean. It's going to get to physical teasing. But then also Samus. Samus knows what she's doing. You want to talk about one of the best Nintendo characters, I think, ever. And even in video game history, Samus. I adore her. Like, Metroid series is beautiful. Mai Shiranui as well. This is a ninja I would make sure to have special, you know, bedroom techniques for, if you know what I mean. We'd make this one work. It would be great. And then Zenobia from High School DxD, like, you know, talk about a sword wielder. Yeah, don't worry. You got an extra one if you need it. I mean, you know, just throwing that out there. Just throwing it out there. Because, I'll let her play around, you know what I mean. But yeah, good questions, man, good questions. Jacob Hayes asks, hi Draco, it's been a while since the last waifu tier list, so if you haven't made one already, can you please make one for blonde waifus? I can, and I will make one. So what I'm going to do is, I was looking through some, couldn't even find any. So I'm going to make one my own. I'm going to try to get it out by next month's Q&A, so the February Q&A. If not, expect it for the March Q&A. So I'm going to try to take some time and to try to get that out there, but I will definitely do it for sure. So if you can be patient with me, I'll get it all done and expect it by the next Q&A or the one after. You know, so I appreciate the patience. But yeah, next question. Ultra Sniper X asks, thanks for doing me a favor, Nick. I owe you one, buddy. Hey, it's no problem. You know, like I said, I appreciate, you know, questions and whatever you want to ask me, you know, I'll answer it. So, no problem at all. What do you think of creepypastas? They scared me a lot back in 2013. I mean, I think they're interesting. You know, people come up with some really creative ideas, and I really like it. Then again, you know, this is somebody who's liked horror. So, like, creepypastas were always kind of fun to me to look into. And they could be pretty, you know, well, creepy stuff, you know, no pun intended. But, yeah, no, they can be fun stuff. I do like them, actually. Have you heard of Nikocado Avocado? Yes, I have. That guy, man, oh, Jesus, he went off the rails. I remember, like, I stumbled upon, like, him doing, like, violin stuff back in the day. Like, he was a violinist and really good at it. And then, like, just over the years, you know, he started doing the mukbang stuff and then all the drama and just, the guy just went off the deep end. Like, and he's literally eating himself to death. Like, it's fucking terrible. Like, you know, like, the guy actually needs genuine help. Like, I mean, really, he does. I mean, it's sickening. Like, I mean, I don't know how anybody could want to watch somebody, like, eat themselves to death like that. I mean, that's, I don't know, man. I mean, I think it's a really sad thing, honestly. Especially seeing, like, his talent just go to waste. Like, that's a shame. What jump scare scared you the most on YouTube? My biggest choice is the ballerina jump scare. I don't really think I have had one scare me. At least, if I have, it has been probably, like, a really, really long time. I can't even remember, to be honest with you. Wow, that's crazy. I can't even remember one. Yeah. So I don't know. I actually couldn't answer that. What are your thoughts on Screamers? They are so damn scary. Oh yeah, Screamers. That was a movie like what, back in 1995? Yeah, that if they were real, that would be terrifying actually. Like fuck those things. They were meant to help humanity and they turn on humanity. No, screw that. Screw those things. Oh, yeah. Man, no, screw that. Do you listen to Slayer? If so, have you listened to Slayer's Raining Blood? Oh, and Angel of Death. Yeah, actually I have. Those are two really great songs they had. I also like Ditto Head. That's another one that I've actually liked. Skeletons of Society was also another really good one that they had, I thought. But yeah, I've listened to them. What's your favorite heavy metal band? Oh, that's a good question. Metallica's my favorite. My dad was the one who got me into Metallica like when I was really young, and I loved it ever since. Like one of my all-time favorites is Enter Sandman, because you know you're off to Never Never Land. Oh, good shit. That and Master Puppets, such good stuff, man. That Metallica had, like, oh god, I love Metallica to death. So yeah, good stuff, really good stuff. Do you listen to thrash metal? I listen to Slayer mostly. I have. There are a few bands that I actually like. I do like Destruction, Death Angel, and Venom. Those are like some of my favorites. But yeah, I do like them a lot. Do you listen to heavy metal? Oh yeah, I mean, like, I do from time to time. Like I said, Metallica is my favorite. I love them. Have you played Marvel Ultimate Alliance? No, I have not. I've heard some pretty good things about it, but I have not actually played it myself, so I don't have an opinion on it. Did you know black and red are the most edgiest colors combined? Yes, I did. In fact, they're my favorite colors. That's basically my wardrobe is black and red, actually. So I wear black and red. That's basically my clothing. Oh, it's funny. I totally forgot about Neon Genesis Evangelion. The series is so good. Yes, that it was. But yeah, good questions. Elizabeth McGaden asked, did you see the whole debacle involving the Italian Senate and Tifa? Yes, I did. I actually meant to make a video on it. That was when I was feeling ill, actually. And man, that was hilarious. Like that whole video and everything, like while they were having that meeting, that was hysterical. Yeah, I love it. Tifa's basically a part of the Italian government now. Oh, it's great. It's so good. Brandy Miller asks, are you going to watch the Cuphead show? I've thought about it, because I like Cuphead. The game is challenging, but fun. I like the style, so, yeah, I mean, probably. Which anime characters, if you ever met, would run away in terror? Probably Zenitsu, from Demon Slayer. He'd probably be the one that I could think of off the top of my head that would probably run away in terror. Although he's a badass, to be fair. So, I mean, props to the guy. I mean, mad respect to Zenitsu. But yeah, good question. Ultra Cyber X asks, who's the worst male and female anime character in your opinion? Oh boy, this is fun. So in my opinion, the worst male and female character, I hate Sasuke. Like I said, I've talked about this a whole ton of times. Like I said, good fighter. Don't get me wrong. I hate his character. I hate his personality. I hate the direction his character goes in the story. I feel like he held back characters from development, like Sakura and Naruto. Now Naruto did develop in the story at times, yes. But, like, I feel like because of Sasuke, Naruto could have worked more on being Hokage. Like I said, I feel like the character was just a hindrance, but that's just me. And then Seiryu. Seiryu in Akame got killed. I mean, I think she's got a better personality than Sasuke. I mean, she's at least more likable in that area, but I absolutely hate her for what happened to Shell. Oh my lord, I fucking hate her to death. She got what she deserved in the end. Like, Seiryu got what she deserved in the end. What's your least favorite anime? Oh boy, my least favorite anime. There's a few I could name, but like the one that I really hate, and I regret this, I watched it, which was School Days. I watched it. There's not really an enjoyable character out of the cast. The main character is just an asshole. And then, like, you know, like, the other characters just kind of bad, the kind of garbage. Like, the girlfriend at the beginning that he had, oh my, she's nuts. Crazy. Like I said, terrible show. Like, it's awful. I would not recommend that anime. That's just me. If you could bring a waifu to life, who would it be? Ooh, I would have to pick between a few. One of them being Cynthia, because God knows, like I said, I have a fascination with this character that is extremely and exceedingly unhealthy. Best girl, 100%. I love Cynthia to death. Like, best character in Pokemon. Changed my mind. There's no character better than Cynthia, in my opinion. I absolutely love her. I would lick the sweat off of her body. I'm serious. Erza Scarlet, like I've said, best girl in Fairy Tail, in my opinion. Like, she'd be another one that I would have to say I would contend to think of bringing to life. You know, like, she's adorable at times. She's very strong, too. Like, Erza's basically, like, what I would say you'd pretty much want in a woman. Another one would be Palutena. Could you imagine having, like, a goddess as, like, a girlfriend? Like, could you imagine, like, all the fun that could actually be? Now I'm actually thinking of, like, an anime where that could be, like, a slice of life thing that could be kind of funny. Like a comedy. That'd be kind of great, actually. And then the best girl, Mordred. I'd have to go with Mordred all the way also because, like, I love Mordred. She's excellent, and she deserves the love. You know, like, you want to talk about me making somebody feel loved, I would make sure she knows it. And that she knows she's the best girl in Fate. But yeah, who's the weakest Marvel character in your honest opinion? One of the worst ones ever, I would say, is Bailey Hoskins. Like, he's a mutant, and his power is he can only blow up once. That's it. That's his power. He can't regenerate. He dies when he blows himself up. Could you imagine you have a superpower, and you literally are like, oh, I can just self-detonate myself one time, and then I'm gone. Like, that's a horrible power. God, that's awful. I mean, that's terrible. I don't know who thought of that, but that was awful. What are your thoughts on Blade? In my opinion, Blade is the most edgiest vampire-slaying Marvel character along with Ghost Rider. He's also a badass. Yeah, I like Blade. I'd say the Wesley Snipes movies were pretty good. Like, the first Blade, love it. Second one was okay. Third one, but Blade's a complete and total badass. He was also in the Avengers. You know, like in the comics. I mean, Blade, awesome character. I do like him. But yeah, definitely good questions, man. Gene Gomez asks, okay, here, a good question. Top 10 Marvel movies. So, in my opinion, I would say number 10 would probably be like Age of Ultron. Really wasn't that bad. Definitely a different take on how Ultron was made since, you know, he was actually created by Ant-Man. But, you know, I think that Tony Stark and Bruce Banner making him actually makes a lot of sense. And then, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I thought was really good. To me, not as good as the first one, but it was really good. And Kurt Russell's ego, I loved it. Oh, he was really good. Captain America Winter Soldier was really good. I like the way that they displayed Bucky in this, you know, as the Winter Soldier. And then Steve Rogers, the way he reacted to finding out that Bucky was the Winter Soldier, that was a good moment. Just that whole movie, I really loved that whole movie. One of the best ones, in my opinion. The original Guardians of the Galaxy, that's actually one of the best Marvel movies I think that they've ever had. Like, you know, just the intro alone, you know, just kills it. It's great. Chris Pratt was excellent as Star-Lord. I mean, you had a great cast. Good movie. Infinity War, they built that one up. Like, honestly, I like Infinity War a lot more than I even liked Endgame. Infinity War felt like I guess you could say the modern era Empire Strikes Back, and Thanos was just so good in this film. They did him really well. I liked him. I still prefer the comics plot where he wanted to appeal to death, but they still did good with him in the movie. So, I mean, you know, I don't hate it. They did good with him. Logan is excellent. And yes, it is a Marvel movie. You know, it may not be a part of the cinematic universe, but it is a Marvel movie. This film was superb. Because, you know, like later on, X-Men movies, like X3 was awful. And then you just get like this line of terrible X-Men movies. But Logan, beautiful film. And then X-Men 2, I think, is the best X-Men movie ever. Like, it was hard for me to like think of like Logan or like X2. I have to side with X2 on this one. But, like, Logan's still really good. But, like, X2 is great. Wolverine's story, just beautiful. Jean Grey as well. Like I said, beautiful movie. Deadpool, because Deadpool is one of my favorite characters Marvel ever made. And I feel like this movie was just... it was Deadpool. I mean, it felt reminiscent of the character, and Ryan Reynolds plays the part to a T. Perfect. Spider-Man as well. Like, the old Tobey Maguire films are my favorite ones. I mean... The third one, but the first one, in my opinion, the first Spider-Man's great. Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin. I mean, he is Green Goblin. Like, you couldn't have another person playing Green Goblin. He's the perfect Green Goblin. I mean, beautiful film. And my favorite would have to be Iron Man. That film, to this very day, stands up so beautifully. Like, I love Iron Man. And, you know, he was actually always one of my all-time favorite Marvel heroes in general. So, like, when they had this film, you know, which started the cinematic universe for Marvel, it blew me away. And to this very day, I still love it. It's the best Iron Man film as well, in my opinion, is the best Marvel film to me, but that's just me. But yeah, good question, man. Andrew Rogers asks, please ignore my last question. I posted this before. What do you think of the Ruby Project poster making Weiss like Esdeath isn't the worst idea ever? I mean, it's not that you can't do it. This, to me, just feels exactly like an Esdeath ripoff, and let me explain why. For one, the whole scene there, it is reminiscent of when Esdeath appeared in the manga, where she killed that entire army and had the general, you know, like, she was dominating him. Which, of course, you know, if you look at the anime scene as well, it's pretty much the same thing, it feels like. Of course, you know, like I said, you got a little bit of a change here, but it just feels like that. And Weiss being on a throne, this doesn't suit her character at all. She wouldn't be like this. She wouldn't be like an Esdeath copy. So that's why I'm like, I don't really like this, because it doesn't fall in line with who Weiss would be. Now, of course, you could have different interpretations of the character, yes. And if done well, okay, fine. But, you know, we still don't know the synopsis for this or anything. We just know this much. But if Rooster Teeth has any involvement in this, oh yeah, it's dead on arrival. 100%. I will tell you that right now. I mean, we'll just have to see. If it could be good, but if Rooster Teeth has any involvement, any notes, dead on arrival. I'll just tell you that right now. But let's move on to the Discord questions now. Captain Boomerang asks, happy 2022. What apocalyptic event will happen this year? Oh, that's a good one. Also, happy 2022 to all of you watching. I know it's a little late, but hey, better late than never. But happy 2022 to everybody. Hope you all are having a good year so far. And look, if you're not, I'm sorry, and I hope it does get better. I mean, there's still a full year ahead of us all. It can still always get better. But, and I do hope the best. But when it comes to an apocalyptic event that I think could happen this year, I wouldn't be shocked. And I hope this doesn't happen, but I'm just saying, I wouldn't be shocked if China tried to attack Taiwan. I wouldn't be surprised at that. It's terrible. I don't want it to happen. But I wouldn't be surprised if China tried to do something involving Taiwan. And when I mean involving Taiwan, something bad. I hope that doesn't happen. But it would not shock me if something does happen. So let's hope nothing bad happens. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But anyways, Captain Boomerang then asks, what are some characters in anime that have power that doesn't match their personalities? I kind of feel like, even though this is kind of like a gag, I kind of feel like Saitama hits that. Because, you know, Saitama looks like a goofball, but then when he's serious, you know, he's like the strongest hero in One Punch Man. Or like, you know, Arale from Dr. Slump and all the powers that she has. You know, she's the little android girl, but then, like, you wouldn't suspect her being as powerful as she is. I mean, she's strong enough she could punch the world and break it in half. Which, of course, their gag characters are intentionally meant to, you know, throw you off. But, like, those are two off the top of my head that I can think of that you wouldn't suspect their powers being the way they were if you didn't know about them. But I know there's more out there, but those are just the two I can only think of at the time being. But yeah, good question, man. James95 asks, have you seen a show called Arcane, and what do you think of it? So I haven't seen Arcane. But I know about it. It's actually, from what I know, I've heard good things about it. Now, I'm not particularly a player of League of Legends, but, you know, I'm aware of it. But, I've heard good things about Arcane. I might give it a shot. I might check it out, but, I've never seen it, so I can't really tell you. Foster Jaeger asks, for January Q&A, one, which OCs would you have for your questing party in a fantasy adventure? So I have plenty of OCs that I've created over the years. You know, for those of you who don't know, I've made my own doujin. one of the characters I would definitely say that I would travel with for sure. So her name was Jamie. That's what I called her. She had green hair. She was tall, curvy, very beautiful. Had a wonderful personality. Her hair went down a little below her shoulders. I mean, like, beautiful character overall. And so she was a character that was very outgoing, very adventurous, but she was also one that, like, had a bit of a hot temper. So, like, if you made her mad, you know, she was gonna, like, hit something because of her temper. And she had super strength. So, like, when she punched something like a tree, for example, she'd break it in half with ease. You know, so, like, she'd be kind of one of the characters that I'd like, that if, you know, I were to travel, if I were to have, like, OCs that, you know, I could go, like, questing in a fantasy adventure, she'd be one of them. I don't know, I really grew, like, a fond attachment to that character when I created her. Maybe one of these days I can go to, like, a whole story of that and other OCs that I've made. That'd be pretty cool. Same question as one, but anime characters. Oh, okay, this is a good one. So, I would have to say Dio would be one of them. The Chad badass Dio himself. Who wouldn't want to travel with Dio? Like, who would say no to this guy? Like, Dio would be an awesome traveling companion, in my opinion. He may be evil, but God, the guy, I mean, he's got a good personality. I love Dio. He's great. Lelouch would be another one. Lelouch would be Britannia. You know, like, the man with the Gios that could just control whoever he wanted. I mean, of course, only one time, but still. Worth it. You'd be able to do a lot with that. That'd be amazing. Also, Roy's our boy, because Roy, oh boy, you don't screw with him. Like, Roy is, he would definitely be a great swordsman to have. And man, Chad Roy, that's really the best I could say about it. Cynthia, 100%. Like, we know where I'm going with this. We know I'd pick Cynthia. She'd be like my go-to immediately. Everybody knows this. Just for reasons, multiple reasons. Slapping a ring on that finger. Everybody knows it. Mordred. Definitely Mordred, because, well, for one, that Berserker, beautiful. She is the beautiful red saber. Love her personality. She'd be a fun person to be with. Erza as well. Like, we're seeing a pattern. I think everybody knows this pattern that we're seeing here. But Erza would be another one. Talk about having brute strength. You'd have, you know, both Mordred and Erza together on a team. That would be terrifying, actually. Palutena, like I said, traveling with a goddess would be fun. I think that traveling with Palutena would probably be one of the most interesting things ever. All the teasing, it would never stop, but be good stuff. Another one would be Lucina. Well, another sword fighter. Smash community re. But no, seriously, Lucina would be another good one. Like the way that she would fight for her friends, like how much she cares for her friends. Like, yes, she would be fantastic. Lindis as well. Like, man, like I said, you're seeing a pattern of like me recycling characters because these are some of my all-time favorite characters, but they hold a special place in my heart. Like Lindis, for example, does. Then, you know, Pyra and Mithra, like, who wouldn't want the Aegis by their side? Could you imagine Mithra just blast somebody with light, like, I smite thee! That'd be amazing. Just, oh man, and Pyra would be there for good support as well. Like, I'm serious, these characters would be great. I love Pyra and Mithra. God, I am so afraid of what's going to happen to them in Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Highly concerned. I hope that they're okay. Anyways, Tifa as well. We got to have a good brawler here. And, you know, somebody who's going to be good on the council if you don't want to be. Esdeath. Esdeath would be terrifying. If you combine Dio and Esdeath together, because, like, you know, you go by the anime trump card of, you know, Esdeath, it's basically Dio's Zebaldo. So, you'd have 2 time stoppers. That'd be actually dangerous. That'd be super dangerous. It's like, one of them can stop time for now, the other one, like, oh man. Terrifying. And then, like, you have Samus. She would be the greatest bounty hunter. You ever need to look for somebody, Samus is going to help you with it. Then she's also faced the threats of things like Ridley. Yeah, Samus would be a good one. Definitely. Mai Shiranui, because who wouldn't want a beautiful, you know, ninja on their side? You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. But that also knows how to fight very well. Very strong. Just saying. And then Zenobia as well, because, you know, you don't screw with the Durandal wielder. Like, man, And also, her social awkwardness would just be cute, just be adorable. The interactions between these characters would also be fun. That would be something appealing to see as well. But yeah, good questions, man. Captain Boomerang asks, who would win this death battle? Punisher or Red Hood? Oh god, Punisher. Oh man, like, the Punisher would curb stomp the shit out of Red Hood. Like, Red Hood, yeah, he was recently, you know, before he was Red Hood, a Robin. He was, you know, Jason Todd trained by Batman. But, like, the thing is that the Punisher was a Marine and a Navy SEAL. He was also an assassin. Yeah, no, I have to go with the Punisher on that one. Punisher's terrifying. You wouldn't want to fight the Punisher. No, I gotta go Punisher, 100%. Delta Gear asks, this January Q&A, did you watch Mobile Suit Gundam NT recently? No, I haven't, actually. So I can't say anything about it. Love that anime, and Rita Bernal is my beloved waifu. Nice. Good to hear you have a waifu, man, from that series. Sounds like could be a good character. Nice. Since Rooster Teeth is down to an ash, is Ruby will be completely obliterated to death. Okay, so the thing about that is, okay, this really depends. Because, like, so, when the company, like, if it gets absorbed, which I'm not going to be surprised if it does. I mean, it's the direction it looks like it's going to take. I mean, they're in a lawsuit now. They're getting sued for the Ryan Haywood situation. I mean, it really just depends on what they're going to do. Because, like, whenever a company gets absorbed into another, whenever they merge, you know, into another company, you know, all their assets go to that company that's taking them over, right? So, it really depends on what Warner and Discovery will want to do with the Ruby brand. I mean, it may get canceled altogether, or they may do something with it, but the brand itself, it's damaged. It's damaged goods. Rooster Teeth in general is damaged goods. I don't know why they would want to take an IP that's so just decayed and rotten and try to do something with it, but it just depends upon them and what they want to do. It depends upon Discovery Warner. If you don't know what Kamen Rider is, I recommend you watch my favorite ones, Kamen Rider 555. It was one of the best Rider series ever made from 2003 to 2004. So I know what Kamen Rider is, I've just never seen it. But yeah, no, I mean, I've been thinking about watching it actually, so I'll definitely check it out. So when the child diddlers, LGBTs, Karens, and more will be burned alive to the ashes of Sinnery. Okay, so, well, when it comes to child diddlers, okay, I don't think they deserve to live. But, like, LGBTQ people and Karens, they don't deserve to die. Like, you know, like, there's nothing wrong with LGBTQ people. Like, you know, they're people like anybody else. Same with these Karens. You know, like, yeah, these Karens complain about things, and yeah, they complain over things that aren't even an issue at all. But that doesn't mean that they deserve to die. You know, like, so, no, LGBTQ people and Karens, they don't deserve to die. But, like, when it comes to the child diddlers, though, okay, yeah, sure, because, you know, they're just going to keep doing what they're doing. Like, no, they can go. In my opinion, they can go, though. But anyways, good questions, man. Best Riot Waifu asks, have you played any Gears of War? If so, who is your favorite character? Yes, actually, I have. Marcus Phoenix was always my favorite. Always did like Dom, but we all know what happened to Dom. Poor Dom. Gears 2 was my favorite Gears. Gears 3 was pretty good. 4 and 5, not so much. But yeah, that's my opinion on that. What's your least favorite Yu-Gi-Oh series? Oh, well, that's obvious. Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. Oh, Arc 5. I could go into a whole tangent on my issues with it. And look, it starts off with so much potential. I mean, there's an interdimensional war, that's the plot, but, oh god, it just gets so bad towards the end. The end is just abysmal. It's horrible. And then, of course, my least favorite character, fucking Yuya. Anytime I see this guy, Yuya, you know what you did? Pendulum summoning.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Oh, pendulum summoning. You want to talk about a very horrible mechanic, in my opinion. I mean, if you like it, that's fine. But it was so bad. Like, Pepe format was terrible. And yes, it was called Pepe. And it literally stopped your opponent from playing the game. It was so awful. Oh, I hated the format. It was so bad. And then they had to have a ban list come in there, but Konami had to create pendulum summoning. And how canonically in the anime was pendulum summoning created? 'Cause of this little bastard. Yeah. The devil child Yuya himself was the reason why it was created. I'm serious. I can't stand Yuya. And look, they had 4 different dimensions: the standard dimension, the exceed dimension, synchro dimension, and fusion dimension. They had all these dimensions, which there was 4 different versions of each of the characters: the U-boys and the bracelet girls. And here's the thing: while they had these characters, while they had this interdimensional war that was going on and everything, all this stuff was happening. Yeah, the plot just goes completely south. Characters get completely just thrown under the bus. Like, the whole story with Zark and Rei. Like, Yuya, oh wow, he's the avatar for Zark all along. He's the devil child. No, seriously, he's evil. Fuck Yuya. I can't stand him. Oh, I can't stand him. All the action cards and all. But then, like, the whole thing with Zark and Rei, we don't get, like, a full explanation on every single last thing with these characters, which they should have had more time to develop these characters more, understand them more. I mean, we had a glimpse of them, and you would think that there'd maybe be, like, one more final interaction with them. I mean, while Zark did return, and Rei did return through Reira instead of the, Arc 5 machine, and, with the, Bracelet Girls all supposed to be fused together, and then it didn't work because Rei's soul didn't enter the machine. Oh god, it just went to hell. And then of course Rei beats Zark in the end, and then the dimensions are all split, and then just all this shit happens. Shun himself, the whole reason why Shun was even battling was because, one, his home was destroyed. He was fighting, for his world. Also, his sister was kidnapped in that fight, so he was fighting to save her. And then at the end, what happens to her? She's forever dead, not coming back, inside of Yuzu for the rest of her life. And Shun just, he smiles at the end regardless of his sister being dead forever.
Can we stop this cruel game and allow the boy to keep one shred of dignity? For God's sakes! I can't stand to see him in all this pain! You vicious bastards!
And then, the best boy, Yuto, is forever dead, which was Shun's best friend. And, the woman that he was also fighting for, because he did love Ruri. That ain't happening. He's forever dead, sealed inside of Yuya forever. The demon child. Which that's what Yuya is! And then the best girl, Serena. Oh, what happens to her? Oh, she's dead too. Because she was a part of Rei, and then at the end she dies and gets fused inside of Yuzu forever. Oh, and she played Luna Lights, and she was the best counterpart of Rei. She was the best personality. No, they're all dead. The best characters are either dead or suffering forever. Oh, fuck Arc 5. It had so much potential. Man, if I ever did a review, Jesus, there'd be a lot more complaining than there would be good. Yeah, good question, man. What are your thoughts on the team, the Suicide Squad? Well, I mean, you got different eras of the Suicide Squad, but the concept of the Suicide Squad, it's excellent. I actually like it. My favorite member of the Suicide Squad that there ever was is Killer Frost. Like, she is actually my favorite member they ever had. I also like Captain Boomerang. He's also a really good member. But yeah, there's been a lot of cool iterations of Suicide Squad. And build your Suicide Squad team between 5 to 8 anime villains. Which one will be the first to get blown up, aka Slipknot? Yeah, which that happened, his arm, yeah. He lost his left arm to what he believed were dummy grenades. Yeah, I remember that. Or dummy bombs, sorry. That's what he thought they were, and they were actual real bombs. Who's the Rick Flag of the team, and who's the Amanda Waller from behind the scenes? So, if I had to build a team, my team would be, like, Green Jow. He'd be one of them. I feel like he would be your Slipknot. I feel like he would get his arm blown off. Oh, wait a minute. That happened. He did have his arm severed. It works! Oh, okay. Well, one down. Alright, let's go for more. So, the next one I would say would be Dewey Harime. because she'd be a big, good, hilarious character. Like, she'd be extremely comical. Then again, what are the odds that somebody's gonna kill her though? You know, like, if you know what happened to her in Kill la Kill, like, she didn't die by anybody. She sacrificed herself, you know, to Ragyo. So, yeah, she basically sacrificed to be a part of Ragyo. So, that'll be something. Dio, because Kono Dio da. but Dio would probably be your Rick Flag. Who knows? Giorno could probably take over the Suicide Squad. That's something, right? Something to think about. And then Vector. Vector would be, he'd be insane. Then again, you know, we need our comic relief, right? He would be another good one besides, you know, Nui. I think Vector would be perfect. You would have like 2 trolls on your team. So that'd be great. There you go. You got 2 characters trolling everybody. Perfect. And then Rainier. Rainier would be a good one. She probably could use people, like she would like seduce her, like them to get the information herself, and then you know, boom, get all the information she could ever need. I mean, who knows? It could probably even be something comical out of it, or something extremely gruesome out of it. Brandish, I feel like, would be there as well. I feel like she would actually be kind of level-headed and everything, and also she could set people in line if anybody fell out of it. Like she'd be good at it. I mean, who's gonna oppose Brandish really? I mean, I guess Dio, because, you know, time stop, but, you know, good old Zewerdo, but, yeah, Brandish would be another good one, and I think your Amanda Waller would be Seto fucking Kaiba, because he's such a badass. Good old Kaiba. He would probably have the funding and the resources to be able to make this possible. Because Seto Kaiba was you know, he was evil in the beginning. If you ever read the manga, you'll see how evil he actually was. Kaiba was a genius. But yeah, good question, man. What do you think of this video? What would you do if Mordred, I'm guessing, like, if she were to do this? This video is hilarious. I'm thinking about this video. This video is great. If Mordred became the VTuber, I would actually find her location and go and slap a ring on her finger. It happened. At that point, you know, like Mordred would be my VTuber. Yeah, that's what would happen. I'd marry her. Yeah. I would never do anything like that. I'm just saying. If it was Mordred, it's different. But anyways, good question, man. Captain Boomerang asks, what power in all fiction is overrated or underrated? In terms of overrated, I'd probably say super strength, because you'd have to learn to adapt to that power. Because, like, could you imagine, like, for example, like, you went to go grab something and you just crush it because you don't know how to control that power? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you just break it, crush it, whatever. Like, I think that could be overrated unless you actually knew how to do it. And so there is that. I think teleportation is very underrated, though, if you had to go with underrated powers. Because, like, you could teleport things into other places. Could you imagine, like, teleporting, like, for example, like a sword into somebody's skull? Just saying. That would be, like, my ideas of it, because teleportation is just never used properly, in my opinion. That or shrinking and growing. Like, could you imagine, like, you, like, shrink into someone's wound and, like, crawl through their body, like, go to their head, just, like, grow back? That would be something. That'd be like another underrated ability, I'd say. Or just like grow through. That'd be crazy. Just body explodes open because like you're coming out of it. Like that'd be nuts. But yeah, good question, man. Metalord 395 asks, January 2022. To wrap up the first month of the new year. One, what male VTubers do you recommend? I mean, there are plenty out there. I just don't ever watch any. But I'm sure there are really good ones out there. I mean, you just gotta look, because I don't know of any, but I'm sure there's good ones out there. Check them out. You know, go look for yourself and see who you might like. You know, but that's just my thought. Battle Royale: Tanjiro Kamado versus Midoriya versus Edward Elric versus Jotaro Kujo. Who wins? Assume each combatant is in their prime performance. Jotaro probably wins. I mean, Zeworld, you know, Star Platinum, the world. Time stop, you know, just punch through somebody. He'd probably win. Then again, you know, you also looked at Star Platinum, the world, can actually punch through diamonds. So if you can punch through diamonds, yeah, you're going to punch and break blades and other objects. So Jotaro probably wins that, especially time stop. So yeah, I'm going to put my money on Jotaro there. What are some anime you were looking forward to this year? I'm stoked for Requiem of the Bros, King, Chainsaw Man, and possibly Spy X Family. One anime I'm looking forward to, it's more of a continuation, which is Bleach. You know, I talked about some of the things that I've been looking forward to last Q&A. But Bleach's continuation, you know, like, finally getting the end, because the manga's so good at the end, like, the Thousand Year Blood War is great. So I'm excited to see that animated finally. Like, I've been looking forward to that for so long. Apparently, Zatch Bell's getting a sequel manga, from what I know. I'm looking forward to that. I don't know if anybody knows about that. I just recently found out about that. I'm excited for that, actually. I mean, there's a massive list. I mean, you know, the next season of Data Live, the 4th season, that'll be something. Komi-san Can't Communicate. You know, that's another one I'm looking forward to. You know, Love Live, like the next season of that too. Like, there's a ton of stuff I could go on a whole entire list of, but you know, there's a lot that I'm looking forward to personally. Chainsaw Man, yeah, 100%. That manga is so good. 100%. That manga is amazing. Thoughts on Jujutsu Kaisen? Really good. I recommend anybody that hasn't watched it or read it, do it. Like, it is good. Do it. What are your favorite male anime characters? Oh God, there's so many I could go off of and just name. You know, like I do like Joseph Joestar, Dio Brando, Enrico Pucci, Rohan. Like Rohan was the best character in Part 4, in my opinion. Who else do I like? You know, Bucciarati, Giorno. I also like, you know, as you know, the Pokemon characters I named off earlier, like James and Brock, for example. Like, they're amazing. Soma Yukihira, 100%. Edward Elric. Roy Mustang, for sure. Greed. Like I said, I could go on a massive list. Maria from Mariaholic. Man, like I said, I could go on forever with this list. It would be a long one. But yeah, that's just kind of a general idea, I guess I could give you, like, because there's plenty of them. Have you heard of Cookie Run Kingdom? If yes, what are your thoughts on it? No, I actually haven't, so I don't actually have an opinion on it. No, so I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Do you consider PC gaming to be real gaming? Absolutely. PC Master Race, 100%. I mean, of course, yeah, you have console gaming, and everybody's like, yeah, you know, that's gaming, obviously. But, yeah, PC gaming's gaming. I mean, it's gaming, too. 100%. What are your thoughts on Bastille, the British band named after a French Revolution era prison? Never heard of them, actually. I actually haven't ever heard of them. So I don't have any thoughts on them. Have you seen Mirai, the girl who leapt through time, A Silent Voice, or Wolf Children? If so, what do you think about them? I have not actually heard of any of them, except for I've heard of Mirai. I've just never gotten around to even watching it. So like I said, these are series I don't have any opinions on. Which anime characters would you want to be your Valentine? Basically every waifu I've ever named off. Every one of my waifus. What is your opinion on Steam? Well, I've had videos on that. I've had my issues with Steam because, you know, like how they remove certain content because, oh, it violates content. Whenever it's not violating content policies or things of that sort. I mean, you know, I've gone into a whole big thing on that. So I have my issues with Steam, personally, because of some of the things they've done. In terms of censorship, things like that, I don't like that. You know, some games even being removed that had no right to be removed. You know, like there was no reason, wasn't violating anything. Like I said, I have my issues with Steam. But that's just me. Have you seen My Dress Up Darling yet, or Requiem of the Rose King yet? What about Guilty Crown, Vivid Dread Operation, Black Rock Shooter, Tales of Xillia, K Carnival, or Sengoku Basara? I have seen My Dress Up Darling. It's really good. Fun series. Very cute, in my opinion. I love it. I think it's fun. Haven't seen Requiem of the Rose King. I have seen Guilty Crown. I take that back. I have seen Guilty Crown. I do like that. Vivid Dread Operation I have not seen. Black Rock Shooter I have seen, and there's actually a game of that. Not only is there that, but there's actually going to be an anime coming up that I'm looking forward to in April. So, yeah, I'm actually a big fan of Black Rock Shooter, and I'm looking forward to the anime of that. Tales of Xillia, K Carnival, and Sengoku Basara I have not seen, though. So I couldn't say anything about them, though. Have you played Genshin Impact yet? No, I haven't. If so, who would you consider to be the hottest Genshin waifu in Husbando? So this was asked to me before. The waifu I would say would probably have changed, which would be Bale or however you say her name. She'd probably be my favorite, along with Rosaria, and then Zhongli would probably be like my favorite husbando, if I had to say. But yeah, that's probably what I would say in terms of the characters. Which ones would be my favorite husbando or waifu, in my opinion. But yeah, so those are my thoughts on that. But so that's all the questions for this month's Q&A. I want to thank you all for sending your questions as always. It's always greatly appreciated. It's always fun. I always love answering everyone's questions as always. It's always a good time. And most importantly, I hope all of you have fun with it too. You know, it's all about having a good time with everybody. But if you have any questions for the next Q&A, please be sure to leave them in the comment section down below. I'm going to work on trying to get the next one up sooner so that we can catch up on getting the next Q&A out, and then the March Q&A after the February one. So I'm going to try to do that. So go ahead and leave them in the comment section down below. I will get to them, try to edit everything, try to get this all done a lot faster. So be sure to let me know if there's any that I may have missed as well. If there are, I will be sure to get them in the next Q&A 100%. I do apologize if I missed any. I'll be sure to get them in the next Q&A for sure. But anyways, I just want to let you all know I appreciate all of you. I appreciate your support. You all are wonderful, and I just want to thank you all as always. But anyways, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful and fantastic day today. And remember, if today was not a good day, tomorrow could always be better. Take care of yourselves and everyone around you, and have yourselves a good one out there, everybody.